is the third Saturday in October, and the show is on one more time in Knoxville, Tennessee. One of the premier games in college football about to be played. Nearly 100,000 faithful will huddle today in East Tennessee to shout, "Roll Tide," to the deepest regions of the Smokies, and dance to Rocky Top until there is no energy left. ABC Sports College Football presents a CFA matchup from the SEC. Alabama and Tennessee. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to that wonderful old third Saturday in October in Eastern Tennessee. It's always fun to come back. They've been doing this for 75 years, and 33 times Alabama has come into this ball game undefeated, and 13 times have gone home whooped. Well, here they come one more time, undefeated. Ranked number 4 in the nation at 6-0, and leading the Eastern Division of the Southeastern Conference with their unblemished record. Tennessee, ranked number 13, lost last week to Arkansas. They're tied with Georgia in the Eastern Division, and these division winners will meet December 5 for the Southeastern Conference Championship. And Bob Greasy, like an old friend of mine once said, this defensive bunch from Alabama plays like it's a sin to let somebody score a point. Alabama comes primed with defense.
Well, if you like defense, this is the right place to be this Saturday afternoon. Both defenses are outstanding. Tennessee comes in the 7th rated defense against scoring defense in the country. Alabama, the number 1 scoring defense in the country. The Alabama defense has been dominant, and the same recipe applies. Speed and quickness. They are led by 2 outstanding defensive players, defensive ends Eric Curry and John Copeland. In 6 games, Alabama has allowed only 3 touchdowns and as yet has not allowed an opponent to score in the first half. Tennessee, on the other hand, has been a surprise. They lost 18 seniors to graduation last year, and yet they won their first 5 ball games. They lost last week to Arkansas. They are a big surprise. They are led by an outstanding sophomore, Heath Shuler. Shuler is 2nd in the SEC in passing. He is 2nd in the SEC in rushing touchdowns. Yes, he can run and run very well. The key for this ball game, the offenses like to run the football. The defenses are going to try and shut that down, and the quarterbacks are going to have to try and produce.
The schedule for Alabama gets tougher from here on. Tennessee's hard schedule is just about done.
Well, Tennessee has already beaten Georgia and Athens and Florida. Alabama has not played a team with a winning record. I think combined their opponents have been like 12 and 22.
Well, Alabama cornerback Antonio Langham said earlier this week, "Don't worry, we own Tennessee. We have won 6 in a row. No Tennessee senior has ever beaten Alabama." Well, obviously that made the bulletin board in the Tennessee clubhouse, and one wonders if that might be letting your mouth overload your rump. Here comes the Tide into the stadium. On the other side, the Volunteers have come into the stadium, and down in the middle of the melee is Jackaroot.
And Keith, this may be the loudest stadium, if not in the South. It certainly could be in the entire country. When you assemble 100,000 fans, it gets very loud. And if you're an opposing team coming here to play here, you have to be concerned about the noise, especially on offense. So what Gene Stallings and the Alabama Crimson Tide have done all week is they've gone indoors, not because of the weather in Tuscaloosa, but because they could run recordings of Rocky Top and crowd noise right up beyond almost the pain threshold. He said, you don't want to try and invoke the noise rule. You want your players to get used to it. They'll use hand signals, but it still could play a critical factor, especially when you're down close to the goal line. Keith?
All right, Jack, the weather today is just glorious. True feeling of autumn. As you see, 60-degree temperature, low humidity, and just a little sprinkling of clouds here and there. It's been a great 10 days for the Leaf Lookers in the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Smokies, and there's more to come. And the Tennessee Navy is in place, and that man is right. It ain't Bama country. This country belongs to orange and white. And Gene Stallings, as he comes into the stadium, knows full well that he comes in with an undefeated team to play a team that was upset last week and a team that is primed now to do something about it. Johnny Majors, who has come off by 5 bypass heart surgery to return to the coaching sidelines. Seemed in good spirits yesterday, I thought, when we visited with him. In fact, he seemed almost optimistic. Tennessee won the toss. They elect to take the ball to start the second half, so it'll belong to Alabama in the first offensive possession today. The officials for today's game, led by William Goss, and historically the officials have a busy time when Alabama and Tennessee play, because they play this game with almost uncapped enthusiasm. Kind of interesting, Bob Greasy, that David Palmer, number 2, is the man in the middle of the field standing in the sunshine to accept the opening kickoff.
He missed 3 ball games this year earlier with the suspension. And Palmer last year, as you take a look at the kickoff man, Joey Chapman, Palmer last year ran 4 kicks back for a touchdown as a true freshman.
Chapman has it on the tee. This massive oval, we know we've got 25,000. We may very well come close to a record. As the ball goes up into the air, they didn't particularly want to kick it to Palmer, but he got it anyway as he came up to accept it, and was probably no more than 2 steps from breaking it and going for 6 points. That's how dangerous he is. The ball is put down on the 37-yard line where it's first down, and coming out for the Tide, Jay Barker. He's number 7, 6'3", 209 sophomore from Trussville, Alabama. Derek Lassick is behind him. He's become an outstanding running back, and is the leading running back on the team. And he's got the ball. He's out of Haverstraw, New York. He comes around the corner, crosses the 40, goes to the 45. That's an 8-yard pickup. Up front, Alabama shows us Hammond, Wilson, Shields, Stevenson, and Patterson. They're big people, and one of the interesting matchups of the day will involve Steve Buskey, a 6'6" tight end for Alabama, and the strong safety for Tennessee, McCleskey, who stands a mere 5'8". From the 45, it is second down and 2 for Alabama. Pitch it back to Lassick, finds a hole on the right side of the line, and cruises on through for the first down at the Tennessee 49-yard line. So in that very first series, Alabama makes it look pretty easy along the trenches.
And Alabama comes out running the football, which they like to do. They came into the ball game averaging 230 yards on the ground each game. That's the way Gene Stallings likes to have his offense run. Says he's a little bit boring, a little bit conservative, but that's the way I run my team.
Houston is the fullback, but he's up in a slot right now. They turn and give it to Lassick again. He turns to make his cut and loses his footing, and then is taken down very sharply after a 1-yard pickup. The turf on the field, the Shields-Watkins Field here at Neyland Stadium on the campus of the University of Tennessee is an aged field.
It's not good. It's just
not very good.
Flat out not good. It's been down for several years. The weather has worn it. They're going to replace it after next year, and hopefully they'll put Mother Earth back down.
David Palmer checks into the lineup now for Alabama. Ball given to Lassick, getting outside and caught from behind. Good play by J.J. McCleskey. Now that's why he's in the ball game. He's 5'8", 170 pounds. He's out of Knoxville, but Johnny Majors says he's on the field because he makes things happen. He is always around where the action is.
He is an outstanding young man. He was a walk-on 4 years ago as a freshman.
But if he has to match up with that 6'6" Alabama tight end this afternoon,
he may just climb up.
10 inches he's given away. It is third down. Barker lets it go, and he's got his man. He's got a first down as Prince Wembley delayed on the sideline, and now there's a flag on the far side. Let's see about it. I think somebody had the Wembley by the shirt tail. So that's where the flag was thrown. Here's Bill Goss.
I think it's soft sides on Tennessee. Looked like they may have jumped a little early, unless they were drawn off.
Offsides on the defense. Ineligible receivers downfield on the offense. Penalties offset. Replay the down.
Do it again. umpire is A.C. Lambert Jr., Tim Abel the linesman, line judge is Jim Bing Sr., side judge Tom McElroy, Joe Delaney the field judge, Stan Murray the back judge.
But what happened there, Keith, that was not supposed to be a pass. The lineman went downfield, and when Barker saw they were offsides, he just decided to throw the ball. Well, the lineman saw it was going to be a quarterback draw. They ran the play. Barker improvised and just threw it because he knew he had Tennessee offsides.
Kevin Lee is very wide to the bottom of the picture on third down. This is the pass spoiled as Barker is hit hard from the backside by Shane Bonham, number 92 for the Volunteers. But again, you've got a penalty flag. Going against Alabama. They'll decline it and force the punt.
Little twist. Two linemen go inside. Now Bonham from the left side right there, number 92. He had 3 sacks last week against Arkansas, a very active front. They're second in the SEC in quarterback sacks.
Gets Brian Deal into the ball game to punt for Alabama, a sophomore from Oakland, and Sean Summers, a freshman from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, back to receive it. Good kick. High hanger, tail dragger, bounces toward the end zone, goes into the end zone. That'll come out to the 20. Alabama had it down there on the 1-yard line, but number 22, Willie Gaston, couldn't control his momentum, and the ball will come out to the 20 after a 44-yard punt.
Well, it was a good punt. Gaston just misplayed it. They work on this all the time. There's Heath Shuler.
Shuler is from Bryson City, North Carolina. 208-pound sophomore. Exciting player. Tennessee's first offensive possession. Sets up to throw the ball. Bounces outside. Taken down by the pursuit. Number 56, Derek Oden, who stayed home and would not let him improvise. Oden, a 6-foot senior from Tuscaloosa. In case you don't know where Bryson City, North Carolina is, it's just over the mountain. And the United States government still owes them a road from 1943. They do.
I know they do.
Gain of a yard on the play. It's 2nd down and 9.
It just didn't take long to get that in.
Shuler rolls it out, buys a little time, whips his pass low, intended for Kendrick Jones out of Collierville, Tennessee. And it touched the turf about the time it got to his hands. Well, and that is a big upset with South Carolina jumping on Mississippi State.
How about North Carolina beating Virginia?
Well, that's another one.
Interesting that Shuler and the Volunteers come out throwing the football. It's you know, where do you start? Alabama is tough in every area. Now it's a 3rd down and 10.
Backside pressure comes, gets the ball away to Dwayne Freeman. Freeman, however, again, cannot outrun the pursuit. You've got the same old problem here today that we've seen the last 2 weeks with Miami. When you send your receivers out and discover the other folks, linebackers, can catch them.
Well, that was a wide receiver screen. It was well designed and well set up. The timing was just a shade off, and with the speed of Alabama, they got there to make the play.
Palmer goes back to accept the punt from Tom Hatton.
Pete Palmer.
That puts it out. High kick, forcing Palmer into a fair catch. And up at the 36-yard line, that's considered good field position. And Hutton gets a 36-yarder out of it. Seems like Tennessee always has a punter that can knock that ball up around the moonbeam. Maybe it goes back to the history of Coach George Cafago when he did it here, and then coached so many over the years that he worked here. Second possession now for the Crimson Tide. Lassick and Houston. Lassick, the single back right now behind Barker. Lassick has it to the 40-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 4 yards. Penn State and Boston College, but BC's owned that ball game up to the fourth quarter. Now BC is making a game of it at 35-32. There's got to be too much pride, too deeply planted in the soul of Penn State football to get beat too badly.
Boston College has never beaten them at State College.
Alabama didn't have what they wanted with the circumstances. Barker not wanting to take a chance, take a risk. Timeout. The timeout called at 10 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Gene Stallings there talking to his young quarterback. Barker is a sophomore quarterback, started at the end of last year, started 4 ball games, and really has not lost a game since he has taken over for the Crimson Tide.
Now Jackaroo.
Keith, you were talking earlier on about the old turf here in the stadium, and they said they're going to replace it. Well, the Alabama Crimson Tide, can you believe this? They brought 500 pairs, different pairs of shoes, different types of shoes. The concern was for each individual team player to determine yesterday during walkthrough which they felt would best suit this turf. On top of those 500 pairs, they have locked in the truck in case it rained today, and a complete another set of shoes that they call their rain tires.
Old Tank Connolly had to rent an extra truck, didn't he? Get all that stuff up here.
For sure, but you got to have good footwear. You're not going anywhere if you got good footwear.
Barker goes long down the middle, incomplete. Tried to buy the big one deep to Kevin Lee, number 37, the junior out of Mobile, and he couldn't get to it. He had double coverage, but he had a half a step on the double coverage. So they stretch him vertically a little bit. Send a message.
Good point. Send a message early. Alabama is only throwing for 163 yards per game, but Barker has a strong arm, and that'll help later in the ball game.
Third down, a little more than 5. That's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Number 90 fetched it out of the air. Big Ten Tally, 6'3", reached up and slapped it away. He's from Griffin, Georgia. And it'll bring up another punt for the Tide.
Well, what you got, Tennessee likes to blitz. Here are their 3 linebackers. Take a look as they rush the passer. 4 linemen coming, 3 more linebackers. And the linebacker right there jumps and just gets a piece of the ball.
Neal gets it out, gets it to turnover. That's a beaut. Going for the corner. What a kick. Oh, holy cow. He knocked that thing out at the 1-yard line. It's a 58-yard punt out of bounds at the 1.
And to add insult to injury, you got to start against the number 1 defense in the country from your own 1-yard line, huh?
Wallace Wade would have loved it. Any coach going to like a guy that can do that for him. That's the longest punt of his career.
Now, Tennessee offensively, you just don't want to make any mistakes. This is a very aggressive, very quick defense. You don't want to give up 2 points back here in your own end zone.
Charlie Garner and Mario Bunson line up behind Schuler, and Schuler tries to wedge it out for a couple of yards. And Schuler, as we told you, is a big guy. He's 6'3", 208. He is not timid. He will stick his head in there. Charlie Garner is a junior out of Falls Church, Virginia, junior college transfer. And he offers a little bit more speed, which is why he is in there at the tailback spot. Mose Phillips, number 19, comes into the backfield, replacing Brunson for Tennessee on 2nd down and 8. The checkerboard end zone. Schuler faking, going to throw it out of the end zone. Gets it upfield, got a man wide open, out of bounds, incomplete. Oh my goodness, Kendrick Jones was lonesome. He could have caught cold and Grandma bought him a blanket before anybody got to him. And the ball was too late to get there.
The problem, Keith, is the timing in it. The play was well designed. The timing wasn't there. The safety got over to make the play. Schuler had to throw it out of bounds.
And so it is 3rd down.
Schuler looking to the sideline to get a play for this 3rd down situation. It looks like they may be going to punt. Yeah, they're going to punt the ball on 3rd down, backed up.
They got Alabama with the different people on the field, but Tennessee is not able to get them out there quick enough. David Palmer comes running onto the field. Hutton's kick is out of there, and it's not very good. Not very long. It's effective enough in that it is so high. Palmer, who got on the field at the last second, has no chance to return it. And so Tennessee gives the ball back to Alabama. But because of that 58-yarder out of bounds at the 1 and the Tide defense, all of a sudden here's Tennessee camped on the Alabama side of the field at the Tide 47. That was a 44-yard punt.
Well, we've had 4 possessions. Each team has had it two times offensively, and it's been all defense and kicking field position.
Well, that's the nature of these two coaches. That's the history of these two teams. This is Leslie, and that's called a lick as he is taken down. And now for the first time today, let's hear from John Saunders.
Keith, Penn State trailed at one point by 25 points, but a touchdown, 2-point conversion, then recovered the onside kick. First play, picked off is Kerry Collins by Joe Camara, and Boston College trying to hold on to win against Penn State. Keith.
Thank you, John. This is Lassick again. Big gain there. That's a first down. The gain is inside the 33-yard line of Tennessee. Lassick, hard, tough runner. Not that big at 190 pounds, but he's got a low center of gravity. Good balance.
Derek Lassick, a big game last week, gained 188 yards. Two 100-yard games back-to-back for him coming into this ball game.
He's got 38 here in the first quarter. Picks back to him again. Big hole on the right side. And another first down for Alabama. This will be down around the 22-yard line. So Lassick dug in his heels when the opportunity came along and Derek Palmer got into some social trouble. Lassick got his chance to be the man in that running back position, and he took the bit. Boy, he hadn't turned it loose yet.
Good blocking. Good blocking up front, too, Keith.
Chris Anderson checks in now to give Lassick a breather. That doesn't work. Anderson's a junior out of Huntsville. Give him a yard, brought down by George Kidd. George is a freshman from Milan, Tennessee. In there at linebacker with middleman Reggie Ingram, a junior from Memphis. And Ben Talley from Griffin, Georgia, is the other linebacker.
Keith, that Tennessee defense has just been rebuilt this year. They lost 10 starters off of that team from last year.
And being coached this year by Larry Marmee.
And he missed spring practice. He came in late.
Here comes the fake reverse. Lassick still got it. Out of bounds. Just short of the goal line. Call it the 5. Talley shoved him out.
To toss to our left side. He's going to fake the reverse, which slows up the pursuit just a little bit. Nice containment by Wilson there. He just gets up inside those Lassick and gets down inside the 5-yard line.
Good block on Steve Session, number 9, to take him out of the play.
Alabama does pretty well inside the 20. They've scored 21 of 25 times.
Lassick on first and goal to the 1. Time remaining first quarter, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. The last 4 plays, very basic stuff. It's called blocking.
Running, blocking, and tackling. Very basic. Gene Stallings wouldn't have it any other way.
It's kind of like the old line about the quarterback. You can't complete passes flat of his back. The linebackers can't make tackles flat of their back either. They'll stop this one. No play.
There's a marker on the play.
Good ball foul. False start on the offensive line.
So Alabama.
That's a big penalty right
under
there.
The huge noise factor that Jack talked about. Couldn't hear probably. Couldn't hold himself.
Well, this is a problem. It's been a problem. The top of your screen, watch the red helmet right there. He moves. Alabama's had a lot of penalties this year.
So here's the first chance to score for the Crimson Tide. Ball goes for Derek Lassick. He's back down to the 1-yard line. And for those of you who have been watching the Penn State-Boston College game, waiting to hear the final score, you saw that a moment ago, 35-32. And
Keith, that was a big penalty for Alabama down on the 1-yard line. Anytime you move going in, it's a big subtraction when you move back 5 yards on the 1-yard line.
Lassick, touchdown. So Alabama off the exchange of punts. That's what set this whole thing in motion. They take it down and stick it in the end zone.
Well, George Wilson, number 68, left guard, is going to pull around. Now watch the safety right here is going to get a nice piece of him, but he flips himself around and into the end zone.
And Lassick in that possession, 7 carries, 50 yards, and the touchdown. And Proctor is in for the extra point. He's got it. So the touchdown comes at 5 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Those of you who have seen the finish of that exciting Boston College Penn State ball game got here just in time to hear the happy sounds of Alabama as the Crimson Tide has moved to the first score of the ball game to lead it 7-0. This was a big play in this possession of a 44-yard drive as they fake a reverse. Lassick gets loose on the sideline and gives them a first down at the 5-yard line. And then Lassick eventually would stick it in the end zone. And this first quarter so far has belonged to Alabama. Here's the score with Lassick, number 25, taking it over. And the whole thing was set up on a 58-yard punt by Alabama out of bounds at the 1. Tennessee answered with a 44-yard punt out of the end zone. But the Tide offense, which has been coming on the last 3 weeks, took it down and stuck it in for 6. Now Proctor kicks it off. It's a low liner. Bouncing around on the 5, and here comes Ronald Davis with it for Tennessee. Still looking around for some daylight, and finally will be thrown out of bounds just short of the 22-yard line.
Knocked out of bounds at the 21, with first and 10, Tennessee.
As you look at this drive, 8 plays, 46 yards. Lassick took it in. Now look at Lassick, gained 50 yards on that drive. The reason he gained 50 yards and it only went 46 is because of the 5-yard penalty on the 1-yard line, moved it back. So Lassick doing it all on that drive.
Heath Schuler sets up at quarterback with 2 wide men at the top. Will run the football. Number 30, Charlie Garner, trying to find some daylight, and there has been no daylight along the Alabama defensive front so far in this ball game. Tennessee came out trying to throw the ball, but you just don't have time.
Number 80 is Eric Curry. He is 6'7", gets to the outside, gets a piece of the tackle, forcing the containment, making the runner go back inside.
It'll be 2nd down and 9. Ball is handed away, and for the first time today, there's daylight for Charlie Garner, the speedster. Garner cuts it back inside, and he is finally down at the Alabama 32-yard line, and it's the first time all day the Volunteer faithful have had a chance to holler.
Watch the 2 offensive linemen on this side. They're going to pull and block as the runner is going to get through here. Good blocking from the right side. That's Smith and Gordon. Beautiful. That's misdirection. Little counter. Got the linebackers out of the way. London 55, and just makes the most of it when he gets downfield.
We'll call it the 33. The tail end of the ball touching the 33-yard hash mark. And Garner showing some nifty moves, dances inside the 25. before Lemansky Hall can bring him down. And suddenly, Tennessee is knocking on the door. Garner comes out. Looks like he might have hurt his hand or his arm. Mose Phillips, the single back for the Volunteers. Schuler keeps it. Look, he had number 4 downfield, number 4 being Craig Faulkner, but he couldn't set himself. He didn't have control of the ball, and by that time, he'd run out of time as John Copeland ate him up. You'll hear Copeland a lot today. You'll hear Curry a lot today. And while they get busy with bigger people, you'll hear London and Hall mopping up behind them. They've been doing it all season. Aaron Hayden is the single back now for Tennessee, number 24, the sophomore out of Detroit. It's 3rd down and 2. There's no first down there. Curry, Eric Curry, the senior from Thomasville, Georgia. That's one from Thomasville that Bobby Bowden didn't get.
That's for sure. Not making a first down against Alabama in the first quarter of games this year is not uncommon. In fact, of the 7 opponents that have played Alabama now, only one team has converted on 3rd down in the first quarter all year.
John Becksford is in for the place kick for Tennessee, and as you saw, he's perfect on the season. 8 of 8. This is a 42-yard try. Trying to get the Volunteers on the board. He missed it. That's his first miss of the year from 42 yards. And so at 1:55 to play in the first quarter, Alabama 7 and Tennessee nothing.
Take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
I have to admit, I'm a little surprised.
About what?
I just never thought I'd see you in anything but a BMW or Lexus.
Me neither.
Airbag? Leather? This is quality. Expensive?
About 10, 15,000 less than the BMW or Lexus. I think it feels just as good.
What? Oh, there's Pontiac Bonneville. It's amazing.
Ben and Connie Studebaker look at things differently since they became parents. I'm Roger Cool. I'm their State Farm agent. Having a family brought a lot of changes in their lives, so we thought it was a good idea to sit down and have a family insurance checkup. We started by adding to their life insurance protection. Then we went over all their family insurance to help make sure their coverage was up to date. After all, you never know what could happen.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Ohio State meets Big Ten rival Michigan State. Penn State invades West Virginia or other key conference matchups. It's regional action next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Alabama comes back to the attack from the 25-yard line. The starting unit early in the ball game that started this game, the diehard starting lineup. You had Jay Barker at quarterback, but the big news for them has been Derek Lassick. Lassick now is out of the ball game with Chris Anderson, 33, in replacing him, and he is, for the second time in this ball game, really stuffed. Jay Barker 10-0 as a starter, and that streak goes back to last year. You have Derek Lassick. We told you about him. Kevin Lee has stepped up to one of their primary receivers, and we've yet to see any attention at all being given to their big tight end, Steve Buskey. The people along the front we'll give you in a moment. As the Tide comes up now, 2nd down and 10. That's David Palmer in motion. He's got the ball. Cuts it right back into the middle of the field. Look out. All the way down to the Tennessee 44-yard line. First down for Alabama. Let's give you the big people up front in the die-hard starting lineup. You got Hammond, Wilson, Shields, Stevenson, and Patterson. That's 270, 269, 260, 280, and 295. Not as big as you have seen in some lineups around the country, but it's very agile. And it does the kind of a job you just saw. That's a 30-yard run. Hurt on the play is Roosevelt Patterson, the tackle for the tie. Joey Harville will come in replacing him. Harville is a 283-pound sophomore. So here's Alabama on the Tennessee side of the field again. Call it the 45. Give it to Palmer coming the other way. He's going to give it away to Kevin Lee. Lee on the reverse gets a block on the corner and goes inside the 25 to the 21.
Well, those two plays were sister plays, the last two that you saw. Palmer taking the first play and running with back into the backfield. This time the same type of thing on a reverse.
The defense for Tennessee, which is beleaguered at the moment. Todd Kelly, incidentally, along that front, is second only now in career sacks of a quarterback to Reggie White. Lassick is back in, a little delay. He's got the ball. And he's going to pick up close to 5 yards on the carry. Time ticking down into the quarter.
Reggie Ingram, 41, middle linebacker, blocked by Shields. Blocked very well by Shields. Makes the tackle about 5 yards downfield.
In the first quarter of play, Alabama's run for 133 yards, pass for none. Lead 7-0.
Just because you got a house, a lawn, and a mortgage. Just because you're now a responsible adult. You still know how to have a good time. Don't you? The new Grand Am Sports Sedan.
Hitachi?
Wait, I know. Name Nick.
Look, your favorite show.
Oh.
Hitachi makes big screen TVs and 20,000 other entertaining products. Hitachi.
Hitachi? They make, actually, I'm kind of busy right now working on a big project.
Hitachi makes computer systems and 20,000 other intelligent products. Hitachi.
At UPS, we've changed the look of the international delivery business. Because UPS now delivers to over 4 billion people in more than 180 countries worldwide. And because of our efficiency, we can deliver your international documents and packages for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge. An accomplishment we feel deserves a little flag waving. UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
When the Schultz's home was damaged, they saw how State Farm reacts.
Your State Farm agent and a State Farm claims representative go right to work for you.
We work together to avoid needless hassles and delays and speed your homeowner's claim. To help you get your life back to normal as soon as possible, our teamwork speeds your claim.
It's another reason State Farm insures more homes than anyone else.
State Farm is there.
We need to develop a game plan.
That's easy. Let's watch college football.
Let's go to a game. There's nothing more exciting than college football.
Great bands, tailgating, and the spirit connected with the college game is a great combination.
And don't forget the game itself. There are a number of good teams this year. And you're right. Going to a game can be fun. The coach invites you to enjoy college football.
Yeah.
America wins with college football.
And this CFA college football presentation on ABC brought to you by Pontiac and your nearby Pontiac dealers. We are driving excitement. By Payne Weber, we believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. We'll give you the others in a moment as Derek Lassick, trying to change direction, slips and slides down. By the Die Hard battery, now with more power when you need it most. and by 2-day priority mail service from your post office. 7-0, Alabama leads Tennessee as we start the second quarter of play. We are in Knoxville on the campus of the University of Tennessee at Neyland Stadium. The ball is at the 18-yard line where it is 3rd down and 7. Possession of Alabama on the Tennessee side of the field. Little delay, given to Lassick, looking for daylight. Caught and brought down after picking up about 3 yards. Shane Bonham, number 92, the young man from Fairbanks, Alaska, was there to make the tackle.
3rd and 7, good field position. Certainly a conservative call, but Alabama plays that way. They've got a strong defense. They don't want to take any chances with their young quarterback. They want to give this man right here a chance to kick a field goal to put them up by 10.
Well, Michael Proctor was considered the best high school kicker in the country when he came over to Alabama. This is a 33-yarder. And it's right down the highway. Good. 10-0. The Tide goes to the lead over Tennessee.
So, I see you changed your mind, huh?
Well, the Camry was nice. And then I drove this.
Yeah?
Mileage is better.
Really?
And with the power, I'm telling you, it's like a sports car with room for the kids.
Probably set you back, huh?
About 3,000 less than the Camry.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Well, what is it?
The new Grand Am. It's a Pontiac.
Really? Really looks nice.
Under Siege. The Los Angeles Times calls it a gleaming high-tech thriller with laughs and thrills. And USA Today declares it the best Seagal yet. Steven Seagal, Under Siege, rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
One oil filter traps 80% more dirt than the leading competitor. Clearly, that's Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
We put our best people on the project. Hope they come through. One network color laser printer not only brings everyone together, it brings out the best in everyone. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together.
Before building new water mains, we had to know where the old ones were.
Xerox color not only helps with little details, it gives you the big picture too. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together.
The numbers there on the scoring effort with Proctor getting ready to kick off. He's only a freshman out of Pelham, Alabama, 5'11", 175. The man who will go deep for Tennessee is Ronald Davis, a sophomore from Bartlett. .42 to go in the first half of play. We're in the second quarter now, and it's 10-0, Alabama leading. High hanger. Davis at the 5. Number 39 was the man that held his position and kept him from turning the corner. His name is Eric Turner. He's a strong safety, and here are your numbers for the first period of play.
First quarter jumps out at you right here. Only 1 first down for Tennessee and no yards passing for Alabama. Alabama had 20 plays. Tennessee only had 10. Of course, they had 4 possessions to Tennessee's 3 possessions.
Tennessee has it first down at their 36.
There's a reason more people go to Sears for a new battery.
Can't believe I left my lights on.
Only Sears has the Die-Hard. Sears is so confident of Die-Hard starting power. If your Die-Hard needs a jump, Sears will do it absolutely free. Anytime, anywhere, even if you leave your lights on.
I got stranded once. Never again.
You can count on me.
Sears Die-Hard. More power when you need it most.
Only Delta gives you more flights from over here to over there. Only Delta flies you non-stop to more cities from over here to over there. In fact, only Delta flies you non-stop to more cities in Europe than all these airlines combined. Delta, we love love to fly, and it shows. The world over.
Yeah, I looked at the BMW and the Lexus.
And?
I drove this. The power, the handling, the control. It was incredible.
Really?
It's got leather, ABS, dual airbags. It's even supercharged. I could have spent a lot more on the BMW or the Lexus. But why? What is this? The new Pontiac SSEI.
We are driving.
Very nice.
Excitement, Pontiac.
I'm sure most of you know that Paul Hornung won the Heisman Trophy in 1956. Paul, of course, Notre Dame. Did you know that Johnny Majors was the runner-up? Did you also know they're still unhappy about it down in Tennessee? That pass Schuler intended for Faulkner is incomplete off his hands. Ball was thrown with finger-burning rotation. The die-hard starting lineup for Tennessee, they opened the game this way, and we've told you about Schuler somewhat. 8 running touchdowns and 5 passing touchdowns. He's a very versatile fellow. A lot of young people in that group right there for them, particularly in the running back core. Second down, 10. Tennessee's had only one offensive surge so far in the game. That was based on a run by Charlie Garner. That play doesn't get much out of it. The offensive front for the Volunteers, and we'll read you from Stowell through Gordon. We'll give you the weights as you see. They also have a 300-pounder. Everywhere you turn these days, there's one of those big dudes that weighs 300 pounds or more. And the things that makes them so hard to handle is they don't have to keep their arms in anymore. They're out there shoving around. They're like trying to run around a corn crib. Third down and 8. Schuler threw a bullet that Corey Fleming had no chance of catching. No chance. The Alabama defense, Copeland and Curry, James Gregory's the man that stepped into the middle to play so very well. Hall and London on the outside are just absolute terrors. In the secondary, Antonio Langham, 4 interceptions. That's a very good secondary. The speed of this Alabama defense is certainly comparable, I think, to Miami's. Here's the punt by Chapman. Palmer. He does tend to make you hold your breath a little bit. He's out near the 33-yard line, and there Alabama is going to possess the ball, leading by a score of 10-0.
This is the new Civic Coupe from Honda. Maybe you'd like to take a second look.
I see your printer here doesn't boast the HP LaserJet name. Did you ask for this?
No, I didn't. I assumed when I asked for a laser printer, I'd get a LaserJet.
Huh. Have you spoken to management about this?
I am management.
Oh, so how did this happen?
Poor management, I guess.
Nah, probably just poor communication.
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to send yourself a memo.
Yeah, and I could make a point of specifying an HP LaserJet.
Yeah, don't mince words either. HP LaserJet printers. If it isn't a LaserJet, it's only a laser printer.
A reminder from Walmart. No matter who you are, no matter what you drive, there's one sure way to get more out of it. Regular oil changes with quality Haviland motor oil. When you add Haviland, you add more life to your car. And with Walmart savings every day of the year, you're not only miles ahead, you're dollars ahead too. Saving money at Walmart. It's an idea that's really catching on. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
Olympic medalist Nancy Kerrigan joins Todd Eldridge in a star-studded competition. Sudafed Skate America International starts next Sunday on ABC Sports.
Smoky Sevens, the Blue Tick Hound, Tennessee mascot. Among the crowd of 97,388, that is the second largest Neyland Stadium crowd ever. The biggest was against Auburn last year, 97,731. 3:88 today. Alabama's ball, first down, call it the 34. Barker down the middle with it. Number 83, Buskey, the tight end, was open and couldn't come up with it. Now let's check in with John Saunders.
Keith, Washington State and UCLA. Drew Bledsoe. Watch the play action, then tosses to Brett Carolyn. They went for the two-point conversion. Get it? 14-7 is the lead in the second quarter. Keith.
Mr. Bledsoe is a particularly good quarterback.
He's outstanding, maybe the best in the country. Barker, so far, the Alabama quarterback, is all 4.
Alabama leading here 10-0, though. They've been running pretty well with it. The defense has shut down Tennessee pretty much. Here's a little short pitch to Lassick. Good bit of play there. They had Palmer going in motion, and he came back as if he was going to give it to Palmer. Instead, gave it to the short man, and the play works pretty well. Close to a first down, and you got a Tennessee man shaken up on the play. That'll be Ingram, the middle linebacker. Reggie, a junior out of Memphis, so you got timeout for him.
Ingram had knee surgery back in the spring and did an outstanding job of recuperating and recovering to play. I don't know if it's at knee or not, but they do not have a lot of depth at the inside linebacker spot. The backup to him is a true freshman. Hope he's not hurt seriously.
Monday night, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, Central Division of the AFC. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Young David Shula, Mr. Cowher, they're going to get together and see who can pull the trick of the... I guess Boomer Esiason is not going to be able to go. At least the reports we have is he's still tender.
Kind of iffy, huh? That's like playing your neighbor when you those two in the same division have getting together for a long time. That's like this one here, the McCoys and the what do you call them? The Hatfields. Yes, sir.
This is the wrong part of the country for you to forget that name.
Neighbor's playing, but I'm not from this part of the country.
Yeah, but they live just down the road.
Okay.
And one you go be traveling. Lassick turns it to midfield, and McCluskey makes the tackle on him. JJ, number 6, 5'8", 170 pounds of dynamite.
To mention, he was a walk-on a couple of years ago. He's a local kid from Knoxville. Was a defensive back as a freshman. Then he moved him to as a wide receiver in his junior year. He caught 35 passes last year. Now he's back at strong safety, and he's the 4th leading tackler on the team.
Second down and 4. Same play. This time, Tennessee figured it out pretty quickly, didn't it? Shane Bonham. I told you he was from Fairbanks, Alaska. He transferred to Tennessee from the Air Force Academy. So that's how he got down here.
92, the middle and the right part of your screen, just slips around the block of Stevenson, 69. That's a cute little play where they bring Palmer back in behind. You remember the first time he did that, Palmer, they tossed him the ball and he ran for a big gain. Then they tossed it to him in a reverse. Now they're using him as a decoy, but Bonham was said, none of that. I know what's going on.
So with that play, it becomes 3rd down and 12, and suddenly this huge crowd of partisans get into the act, and there's some confusion defensively on Tennessee's part, and finally Steve Sessions says, hey, let's straighten it out. Timeout.
This Magnavox portable CD player with pure digital sound is the best thing to take on vacation. Unless you compare it with this clever Magnavox 5-inch TV. Great pictures anywhere. Of course, the best is this compact yet intelligent Magnavox camcorder with autofocus. Unless you take this Magnavox 3-inch LCD TV, which connects to my camcorder, so I can watch my vacation on the ride home. Looks as though I had a pretty good time.
The ingenious products from Magnavox. Smart. Very smart.
Critics say Pure Country is pure gold. I was knocked out. Not since Marty Robbins and Gene Autry has a real singing cowboy ridden onto the movie screen. George Strait, Pure Country. Rated PG. Sneak preview October 17th.
Rockport has combined the lightweight comfort of its walking shoe with the rugged performance of its hiking boot. The Discovery Series by Rockport. It wasn't as easy as it looks. Rockport, you should be in our shoes.
Introducing the 190 horsepower Prelude VTEC. It's very quick, no matter how you look at it.
You've heard all these stories about Bear and his boys and how many times Bear whooped his boys when they went off to head coaching careers. Well, there was one of them that he didn't whoop. That one right there. Out at Texas A&M, he beat the Bear.
They didn't play too often, though.
They didn't play too often. All right, here we go. 3rd down and 12. Barker's got a lot of daylight in front of him. He's got to get his first down and then some. So the Tennessee defense fell completely away, leaving the entire boundary side open for the Alabama quarterback, and he took off.
Well, what happened, Keith, the Tennessee defense, the defensive backs were locked up in man-to-man coverage, running with receivers all over the field. Nobody was assigned to the quarterback, and if a quarterback can run and scramble, nobody is left to guard him once he gets through the front four, and he made a big, big play.
Rich Wembley was shaken up on the play. He was over there trying to effect a block, and in the process got clobbered on the sidelines and got banged up some. This is what's happening in the Southeastern Conference today. Florida, a big winner over Auburn. And Georgia, it was 20-20 at halftime with Vandy, but they win it. And here we go with Lassick carrying for Alabama. And from the 25, he'll get down to about the 18 or so. That run by Barker, the Bama quarterback, was the 7th tied run for more than 10 yards in this ball game. So they're picking up a lot of real estate on the ground. 10 minutes to go in the first half.
Tennessee came into this game, as we mentioned early, one of the best defenses in the SEC.
From the 18, up the middle, fullback Martin Houston, the senior from center. And he's going to have the first down.
We get word that Reggie Ingram, the inside linebacker who came off the field for Tennessee a little earlier, just had a pinched nerve, shoulder nerve, and they don't know if he'll be back or not. They look like he's working on his lower leg. Or working on his shoulder pad. Yeah, shoulder pads.
It's first down. This is Lassick. Little hole over the left side. Good quick feet. Skater keeps his feet low to the ground, and he makes those cuts very quickly.
Here's a look at Alabama inside the 20, including today. It scored 23 of 27 times. Defensively for Tennessee, their opponents have scored 8 of 11 times inside the 20.
Wembley is back now, number 32, after being dinged a bit on the sidelines. On 2nd down. There goes Lassick. And he's brought down at the 5 by Tracy Smith. It looked like he was going to get loose and into the end zone. But the senior from Jonesboro, Georgia, wouldn't let him go. Lassick now, with 8 minutes and 46 seconds to play in the first half, has over 100 yards. 21 carries and 104 yards.
That's exactly the amount of yardage on the ground that Tennessee is normally used to giving up in one game. Martin Houston, the fullback, doing a great job blocking for Lassick.
It will be the 3rd straight game in which he has run for 100 or more yards. Here he goes again. He scored the Alabama touchdown back in the first quarter, and he takes that one down to about the 1. And it will be a 1st and goal for the Crimson Tide. They started out very slowly in scoring points. They struggled. They got 13 here and 17 there. And then the last couple of weeks, they started to put some points on the board. And today, the running game against Tennessee, at least, looks particularly impressive. Lassick, touchdown. only got 8,800 tickets for this ball game officially. It looks to me like there's more than 8,800 folks wearing red in this crowd of 95,000.
Red and orange are kind of similar, but there's no doubt that Gene Stallings has got this group running. That touchdown was a little bit too easy. You expect a little bit more resistance from your defense down inside the 2-yard line.
At 8 minutes to go in the first half, Proctor for the point is good, and it's 17-0. Alabama, the number 4 team in the country.
Since the Honda Accord is America's best-selling car, why would you want to lease one? Well, for one thing, you won't have to drop a lot of cash. Introducing the Accord Lease Program. See your nearest dealer for details.
There's an urgent need in this country for teachers. The number of high school graduates alone will increase over 28%. The College Football Association is introducing the Hitachi Promise of Tomorrow teaching scholarships to help young people in college football pursue careers in teaching.
Hitachi, proud sponsor of the College Football Association. Hitachi's Promise of Tomorrow program gives teaching scholarships to all 67 CFA members.
We have a great tradition of quality and excellence. This university has been highly productive for a long time, but it has never been better than it is today. The standard at the University of Alabama in everything we do is excellence. When the world wants to know about the state of Alabama, they come to the university.
There are the numbers involving the scoring drive by Alabama.
Big play was Barker, the quarterback, that 33-yard run on 3rd down.
Tide has now run for 201 yards on 33 plays so far in the game. Zippo on passing. Proctor kicks off. Davis is deep. 8-yard line. He's reaching for his flag, and he finally pulled it out. Inadvertent face mask call coming up next week here on ABC Sports. These are the games we'll have for you. And the Pac-10 game and the ACC game yet to be chosen. But the other 3 have been chosen. Penn State on a big comeback today, however, losing to Boston College. So their game at West Virginia becomes more significant next week. However, Penn State is already locked to the Blockbuster Bowl, so they're not worrying where they're going to be on New Year's Day.
As long as they win 6 games against Division I schools.
That's true. There is some kind of a catch in everything, isn't there? All right, Heath Shuler brings him up for the first down at the 35 after the penalty. A little bit of a delay. Shuler rolls out. The suit's coming. It's deflected and caught by Faulkner. Faulkner caught it on the ricochet. It is short, however, of the first down. Winds up about a 5-yard pickup.
Let's go back, Keith, and take a look at the touchdown. Here's a man right here who's going to carry the ball right in here, but look at the lack of resistance. The middle linebacker, there's a true freshman. We told you that Ingram was injured, went out of the ball game. Look at the lack of resistance from Tennessee. The freshman inside linebacker gets turned around, doesn't know where he is, and Alabama knew exactly who to go after.
Look at number 80. But Shuler, strong as he is able to get the ball away. But by the time Shuler took 1 step away from the snap, Eric Curry was on his back.
And he came from the other side.
Alabama's defense allows a little less than 48 yards per ball game on the ground. And Tennessee's already got more than that, but when you look up at the scoreboard, you realize it's 17-0 with 7 minutes to play in the first half. You can be reasonably forgiving that the defense has been a little permissive here and there. Shuler back. Ducks away from the pressure. Flips the ball ahead. Pass will work. close to it, but he was behind it, and Ronald Davis accepts the little toss and will go for the Tennessee first down.
Heath Shuler came in, a very highly regarded quarterback. This is only his second year. He drops the ball, got a little pressure, presence of mind to flip it ahead. Didn't have time to throw it, just flipped it. Doesn't matter how you do it, just that you get it done. Very good play by the young quarterback. He's going to be an outstanding player, Keith.
Davis almost dropped it, too. First down at the Alabama 45. Tennessee hasn't been there very much today, but this is Garner. Garner's second big run of the ball game to the Alabama 29 and a first down.
And the same play, Keith. The same play he ran the big one on before. They do it again. They're going to pull both of these linemen over here, and the receiver, the running back, will get to the right side this time before they ran it the other way.
He's pretty nifty, isn't he?
At Stoll 59, Garner just follows his left tackle. And one play is done very well for him.
6 carries for Garner. He's now got 73 yards. This ball is flipped outside to Garner again. And Garner trying to get around the corner, and Alabama will have none of it. George Teague was the man that finally put him into the boundary out of bounds, and there's a penalty flag. Holding Tennessee. Heath Shuler got a pretty good lick that time after the ball left from Antonio London, the outside linebacker, number 55.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Guard is pulling. Now watch this right here. He's blocking on the end. That's Curry. Just tackles him. And looked like Smith, the right guard, was pulling.
Since that holding call comes from the spot of the foul, it moves it back 13 yards, and it is first down and 23. James Stewart and Aaron Hayden in the backfield. Shuler back, pressure coming, gets his pass away, pass thrown to Stewart. Stewart, who's a pretty tough guy himself from Morristown, Tennessee, is finally on the third lick, knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Tennessee will rotate 3 running backs, 3 tailbacks, and Stewart is the best receiver of those 3. Garner has the most speed and quickness. They'll also use Aaron Hayden.
The popping sounds that you hear up here, look at that. Your alma mater's
Boilermakers are back.
Got to get one against surprise team in the Big Ten, Wisconsin. Second down and 16. Shuler rolls it out. And the tackle is made by number 11, Lemansky Hall from Valley, Alabama.
What a great play, too, by Lemansky Hall. That was a design quarterback rollout. He had some offensive linemen out in front of him. If there's a surprise on this Alabama defense, it's Lemansky Hall right there. Second on the team in tackles, and just doing an outstanding job.
Clock running at 5:15 to go in the first half. 17-0, Alabama leads. Tennessee with the ball at the Tide 34. It is third down and 14.
No backs.
Underneath. Not enough. Wayne Freeman, number 81 from Hagerstown, Maryland, came across the middle looking for some help, but there wasn't enough. London is number 55. His first name is Antonio, sir. So on fourth down, the kicking team is in with John Bexford. He had his first miss of the season from 42 yards back in the first quarter. This is 44 yards. A lot of leg, and it's good. At 4:20 to go in the half. Tennessee's on the board. 17-3, Alabama.
Every business morning, while the rest of the world is getting up, UPS is guaranteeing overnight delivery before 10:30 for far less than other companies charge. And every business morning, more people are waking up to that fact.
Good morning.
Morning. Norelco doesn't just shave close, but incredibly close. Or merely shave in comfort, but exceptional comfort. Because inside Norelco's floating heads, our lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can drop below skin level without the blades touching your face. And once you've shaved that close and comfortable, you know you'll always be comfortable shaving with Norelco. Norelco, we make close comfortable.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
In a moment of inspiration, Rockport combined the lightweight comfort of its walking shoe with the rugged performance of its hiking boot. The Discovery Series by Rockport. Do not try this at home. Rockport, you should be in our shoes.
There's the Tennessee march to the points. Those are the first points in the first half this season against Alabama. Prior to that field goal, Alabama had outscored the opposition 118-0 in the first half. So Smokey's all puffed up about that, and here we go with the kickoff. David Palmer waits to take it. Five-yard line. Out to the 32, where it'll be first down, Alabama. Tomorrow night on ABC, Life Goes On starts things. Then country music superstar Billy Ray Cyrus will be the guest on America's Funniest Home Videos, followed by America's Funniest People. And Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan will star in the Sunday night movie When Harry Met Sally. All tomorrow night on ABC. From the 32, Sherman Williams and Terrence Lynch in the backfield, and this is Williams. And he's having all kinds of grief. And after several lumps and bumps, he's back to the line of scrimmage.
Tennessee just having a bad time of tackling. These Alabama receivers and running backs are just giving them a little step one way or the other.
3:53 to go in the first half. Reggie Ingram is back. Oh, they got some changes made in his pads, rubbed out some of the pinched nerve, and Reggie's back in the ballgame. Second down and 10. Williams. Well, I thought number 90, Ben Talley, was just going to wipe him out. Ben put his hat on him and everything else, and he really didn't get him. And he was able to get it back to just about maybe a yard pickup.
Well, that time, at least they were aggressive and across the line of scrimmage. They were making things happen on the Alabama side of the line of scrimmage.
Arizona tripled UCLA's team when they played over in Tucson, so gave Miami fits. They're tough. This is Barker running around and finally runs out of time as he crosses the 35, and the referee, Bill Goss, decided he'd flag him. It was a kind of a late hit on the quarterback, and I think that's what got the yellow flag out of Bill's pocket. There was a man standing right there, and he didn't pull a flag. So here I think intent becomes involved, and they're going to call the personal foul.
And that's a big call right there. Watch 41. Ingram to the right of your screen, the middle linebacker. He drops back in coverage, first of all, and then he's going to go over and make the tackle. Now watch to the top of your screen. Right there is the late hit.
Yep. He was knocked that way, though, by an Alabama guy, but the thing that got him in trouble was he stuck that elbow into it.
He was coming off the block. You're right. But the point is, that's like a turnover because they had stopped him. Now they give him a new life with a first down.
And it's on the Tennessee side of the field, too, at the 49-yard line with 2 minutes and 42 seconds to go, and Lassick is back in there. Has the ball for the Tide. getting blocking on the corner. Palmer had a pretty good block out there himself. And he's going to wind up with about 7 or 8 yards on the carry.
Vlasic came into this game the fourth leading rusher. If you take a look at David Palmer, he was an outstanding player. In fact, he was the Alabama Player of the Year just 2 years ago. He was a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, punt returner. As a senior, he rushed for over 2,000 yards and 26 touchdowns. And he also played quarterback, threw for another 1,200 and another 16 touchdowns. He can do it all.
Second down, call it 3. I think Tennessee probably got caught in the neutral zone. Paul Yatkowski. Look at that. Iowa State jumping all over Kansas. Jimmy Walden will be happy with that, won't he?
Dead ball foul. Defense was offsides. 5-yard penalty.
Yep. A young man from Winnipeg, Canada, got caught in the neutral zone trying to anticipate.
Johnny Majors is saying, son, how can you jump offside? You're the closest to the ball. You can see it
and hear it.
That's the problem. Sometimes you're so close, the inflection can affect those guys so close.
Barker's pass is complete. And that's the first one he's had today. Joey Harville is being helped away. There's another penalty flag coming here.
That was Barker's first completion of the day.
This game normally gets a few flags before it's done because it's so emotionally charged. It just has to be.
Holding, offense.
So Alabama will give up that first pass completion by Barker to the holding call. And coming up on the Prudential halftime report, John Saunders will have scores and highlights from around the country. Ariane Grabovoy has a report on the second Russian football team to come to the country. The Moscow Bears were over here a couple of weeks ago, played Central Florida, and the Russian Tsars are down in Western Kentucky. Monty Clark has some wonderful stories about having coached the Mints Buffaloes. That's a 17-yard penalty against Alabama, coming back to their own 46-yard line. Little quick pop to Palmer. Palmer gets a hold block and picks up some, not a whole lot, back down to about the Tennessee 44. And the clock is running now at 1:35 to go.
Palmer is just so quick, Keith. And talking with Mal Moore, the offensive coach for the Alabama Crimson Tide, he says we'd like to get the ball in his hands 10 to 12, 15 times a game if we could, either as a receiver, running a reverse, there's a look at Mal, or on kick returns, either kickoffs or punt returns. He is outstanding when he gets the ball in his hands.
Both teams with 2 timeouts. Chris Anderson in the backfield for Alabama. Barker pumps it, now drops it, and has to cover it. Alabama will keep it at the Tennessee 40. They've got to go to the 30, 27, almost the 27 to get the first down. And Alabama spends a timeout. They have 1 remaining, leading 17-3 with 56 seconds to go in the first half.
When you don't have to send your package overnight, you can save yourself a bundle.
What a difference a day makes.
2-day priority mail service
24 little hours.
from your post office. Send up to 2 pounds in just 2 days for just $2.90. That's right. That's some difference.
What a difference a day makes. We deliver for you.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's important to remember at a time like this, when it's very dark and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Yeah, this guy really gets around. He's got the auto lights. American Oriental, we're guaranteed 2 years no matter how far he goes. That's why we've been everywhere. Wow!
50 56 seconds left to play in the half. Our crowd, 97,388. They're hollering for the defensive folks wearing the orange and white. Third down. Parker dumps it off to Chris Anderson. Anderson is taken down at the 37 of Tennessee. Now you're looking at fourth down. Are they going to send Mr. Proctor? He kicked a 60-yard field goal in high school.
Keith, we get word that Harville, the offensive lineman we saw going off, has a ankle problem. Don't know whether he'll be back in the second half or not.
I don't think they're going to try anything fancy. They're going to let the clock tick on down. And they're going to run the ball on fourth down, and unless Tennessee spends the time out to kill the clock, and Tennessee doesn't seem inclined to do so. Now, as time expires, in comes the punter.
Well, I think that right there, Keith, again points out the conservative nature of Gene Stallings, and he doesn't run from it. He's not embarrassed by it. That's just the way he is. And he's won a lot of ball games. In fact, he's won 16 straight. It's the third longest winning streak in the country.
Well, when you've got that kind of a record, the way things are going right now for the Crimson Tide, he doesn't even have to have an unlisted phone number.
Well said.
The ball goes out of bounds with 1 second remaining in the first half.
Are you saying he might need it somewhere down the road over there?
Well, that's possible. But I think if it comes to that point, he'll just hitch up his britches and put on a new pair of boots and head for the ranch.
He's on the downside of the mountain anyway, isn't he?
Well, he's fixed. The things he does, in his judgment, are done what he considers right and fair.
Well,
that's the way it is.
And he's playing his strength. He's got the best defense in the country, and you're not going to take any chances by getting a field goal blocked.
So the crowd hoots a bit as they run the clock out, and at halftime, it's Alabama 17 and Tennessee 3.
CFA College Football, this ABC Sports exclusive, brought to you by American Honda, who has been making quality cars.
Our halftime score in the old classic, Alabama 17, Tennessee 3.
If you depend on your truck to last, here's news you should never forget. Of all the Chevy trucks built in the last 10 years, over 98% are still going strong. That's more than Ford, more than Toyota, more than Nissan. Over the years, no other truck is that dependable, foreign or domestic. Only Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a new synthetic oil. The rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec's unique molecular structure bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
Call me nuts, call me lazy. This kind of workout is just plain crazy. Don't fill me up with expectations. I got what I want, no imitation. Fall in. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Pepper. Just what the doctor ordered. Just give me a Dr. Pepper. We want it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered. The taste of flavor water. We love it. Woo. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered.
Visa salutes American Olympic champions. In 1984, veteran Rowdy Gaines surprised everyone by leading the 100-meter freestyle from start to finish.
Come down within 10 meters of the wall. The sentimental favorite, Rowdy Gaines, is going to win it. He's got it.
As part of their continued support of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate another $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team to support future Olympic hopefuls in their quest for the gold.
Just a hoot and a holler from Nashville's Grand Ole Opry.
is another place that's home to musicians from all over the world. It's Groon Guitars, where they sell rare and vintage instruments to everyone from Johnny Cash to Motley Crue. So if you go, remember, bring your pick and your Visa card. Because at Groon, you can take your licks on a 1939 Martin, but you can't take it home with American Express.
Yeah.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
CFA College Football is ABC Sports Exclusive. Brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, Chevrolet, and your local Chevy dealer. And by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
Here we go with the second half of play. Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, close friend of the Hatfields, and Jack Arute. Ready to go as Alabama will kick off. And Ronald Davis waits to return it for Tennessee. Tennessee's got a long, hard road in front of them. They trail 17-3, having lost by a point to Arkansas last week on a last-second field goal. And Davis is coming out of the end zone. They huddle back in on the 5-yard line, trying to hide the ball and create some confusion. And all it got him was stuffed at the 10-yard line.
Where did that play come? Johnny Majors' playbook or what? This is the first half statistics. Total plays almost 2-1 in favor of Alabama. First downs only 3 for Tennessee. Then you go on down the Alabama rushing 214, only 15 yards passing for Alabama in the time of possession. 2-1 in favor of Alabama. No turnovers so far in the first half.
And the Volunteers start this offensive possession with very poor field position. Schuler keeps it, lets it fly down the field, and there's a push by the would-be receiver on the defender. Corey Fleming gave George Teague a pretty good push and got away with it, but he still couldn't make the catch because Teague had him sealed away and would let him come back in toward the ball.
Top right of your screen, take a look at the push right there in the back. 2 plays so far in the second half. One was a kind of a gimmick.
With the second half of play, Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, close friend of the Hatfields, and Jack Arute. Ready to go as Alabama will kick off. And Ronald Davis waits to return it for Tennessee. Tennessee's got a long, hard road in front of them. They trail 17-3, having lost by a point to Arkansas last week on a last-second field goal. And Davis is coming out of the end zone. They huddle back in on the 5-yard line, trying to hide the ball and create some confusion. And all it got him was stuffed at the 10-yard line.
Where did that play come? Johnny Majors' playbook or what? This is the first half statistics. Total plays almost 2-1 in favor of Alabama. First downs only 3 for Tennessee. Then you go on down the Alabama rushing 214, only 15 yards passing for Alabama in the time of possession. 2-1 in favor of Alabama. No turnovers so far in the first half.
And the Volunteers start this offensive possession with very poor field position. Schuler keeps it, lets it fly down the field, and there's a push by the would-be receiver on the defender. Corey Fleming gave George Teague a pretty good push and got away with it, but he still couldn't make the catch because Teague had him sealed away and would let him come back in toward the ball.
Top right of your screen, take a look at the push right there in the back. 2 plays so far in the second half. One was a kind of a gimmick on the kickoff return, and the first play from scrimmage, a long pass.
And it's second down and 10. Schuler back, pressure coming, dumps it off in a hurry. Ball is thrown to Charlie Garner, the tailback, and Garner will get a couple of yards in that ball. And once again, it's Eric Curry coming.
Curry came into the game today with 19 career sacks. He's a roommate of John Copeland, the other defensive end who is causing all the problems for Tennessee and Schuler today.
Volunteers 1 out of 5 on third down conversions today. They run it. This is Garner dancing around, and he's just short of his first down. He's a yard short of the first down, and we check in with Jack Arute.
Keith, not surprisingly, Johnny Majors, all he wanted to talk about was the Alabama defense in the locker room. He said, we've got to keep it better. We've got to get more yardage on our first down. Conversely, he said, we also have to play better defense against them. We've got to shut their running game down. What I found interesting came out of the Alabama sidelines in the locker room. Gene Stallings addressed his team, and he said, gentlemen, we've got 30 minutes to play, but a lifetime to remember it.
It's Alabama, Tennessee. One of those moments in your four-year career that you savor. They will not go on 4th and a yard. Probably, in light of the Alabama defense today, would be foolish, and so they will punt it out of there. Joey Chapman, David Palmer waits. Pretty good kick, but it's into the sidelines, deep into the sidelines, and so as a result, not that good as far as yardage is concerned, because they mark it out of bounds on the Tennessee 47. Only 28 yards. The ball was high and it was long, but the angle was bad.
Well, I don't understand why a left footer would kick to the left sideline, because if you shank it, it's really going to go out wide. I understand them kicking away from Palmer, but you would think if you're left-footed, you'd kick crossways and try to kick it out on the right side.
Alabama opens with Barker at quarterback, as you'd expect, and Lassick behind him, and Alabama comes out throwing across the field to David Palmer. And he is caught from behind and dragged down by Ben Talley, who has played a very good ball game for Tennessee at the outside linebacker post.
And Palmer, Keith, is just dangerous as Barker completes his second pass. It's his third pass of the day. Palmer, anytime he gets his hands on the ball, is a threat to go the whole way. Last year as a true freshman, he had 7 touchdowns, 3 receiving, and 3 by punt returns, 1 by rushing.
This is Lassick running the ball up the middle and running it down near the 20-yard line. And that'll leave them 4.5 yards or so short of their first down. 58 is Todd Kelly. 20.5 quarterback sacks for Kelly during his career. And as we told you early in the ball game, only Reggie White during his time here had more career sacks. That's pretty fast company from Mr. Kelly. This is Martin Houston. And Martin trying for the first down, appears to have it. Miami getting a little bit of a breather today, playing TCU. And Michigan is at Indiana at halftime, leading 31-3. I want to tell you something, folks. That Michigan bunch ain't bad. It could be the best team in the country.
Well, but they'll never get over the hump until they beat the Pac-10 team out in the Rose Bowl, Keith.
That's right. No question.
I mean, you say that, and they very well might be one of the best teams. As you see the first down, they may be the best, but until they go to the Rose Bowl and win that ball game, everybody is going to say, we'll just wait and see.
Well, they had the Notre Dame game in hand and frittered it away into a tie. So it's first down for Alabama, just short of the Tennessee 15-yard line. Big upset right there in the SEC with South Carolina. Boycotting, virtual mutiny. That's a pretty good tackle by guess who? J.J. McCleskey.
He just joined us. We talked about McCleskey earlier in the game. He's only 5'8" and about 170. He's played offense and defense at various times throughout his career. And when you need a spark and you need somebody to come over and give your team a lift, they wanted this young man on defense. He's only 5'8", and he is the strong safety. He has to make a lot of tackles.
I don't understand why they wouldn't come out, though, with a 6'6" tight end, why you wouldn't come out and throw the ball to him every other play. With a 5'8" defender. Palmer's back in the lineup. Barker rolls it out, throws the ball out of bounds. He had his tailback, Lassick, wide open over there, but the pressure was coming. Lassick was looking up into the sun, and it just didn't work.
Tennessee was blitzing. Lassick was wide open, and Barker just threw it away.
The ball rests back at the 19-yard line with 11:17 to go in the third quarter, and Alabama leading 17-3. Looking right here at third down and 13.
Let's see what they call here. Parker's going to want a timeout.
Wants to make sure they're close enough to score, and he wants to put something on the board.
Chevrolet announces just about the last thing you'd expect from a car company: lower prices. Believe it or not, this is for real. Chevrolet is lowering the price of every new 1993 Cavalier Coupe, sedan, wagon, and Z24 Coupe. No gimmicks or hassles, just straight talk and lower prices. Surprised? You shouldn't be. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
These extinct relics of American business remind us that waste and inefficiency don't pay. And that while perhaps it used to be impressive to throw money around, today it's more impressive not to. A timely reminder from the only company that guarantees 10:30 overnight delivery for up to 40% less, UPS.
Hitachi. Oh, wait, I should know what they make. I mean, I shop all the time.
Hitachi makes escalators and 20,000 other sophisticated products. Hitachi.
She's trapped by terrorists. Her only hope is a cook.
Oh, God, we're gonna die.
Steven Seagal, Tommy Lee Jones, an adventure that's this year's most exciting motion picture event, Under Siege, rated R, now playing at a theater near you.
In the AFC Central, nothing comes easy. The Cincinnati Bengals roar into Pittsburgh to battle the Steelers. Live on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Back in the days when a mere 70,000 came to Neyland Stadium, he had that kind of a view up the Tennessee River looking into the Smokies. And then they made the house bigger and bigger. Now got nearly 100,000 in here, and you can't see anything but folks. And it's third down. Parker back, pressure coming, great play. Great defensive play by 58 Todd Kelly. And James Wilson, 72.
58, making his first sack of the day, came in with 9, leading the team. And the two defensive ends meet in the backfield with the quarterback in between them. It looks like Wilson was shaken up a little bit.
Michael Proctor is in for a 45-yard field goal try after the sack. Low line drive, hook to the left, no. So Tennessee gets a huge emotional lift out of stopping Alabama when they were inside the 20. So it's 17-3, and the Volunteers take over out on their 27-yard line. Next Saturday, that's the lineup for you. The ACC game is Georgia Tech at North Carolina. The Pac-10 game is still to be decided. You might also check your local cable operator for the pay-per-view game or games that might be available to you. Tennessee to the attack now. The ball is handed away to James Stewart, and we're about 8 floors up, and you could hear that and almost feel that collision up here. It was John Copeland, 94. It was 47-21 Iowa State. Back a while ago when we talked about Jim Walden being happy, now he is in the depths of despair.
Kansas scored 29 unanswered points to win that game.
Good heavens. Second down and 13. Schuler's little pop pass is complete to number 19, Mose Phillips, who had stepped up into a slot back position. And that is short of the first down.
Look at Schuler. This is a look at what he is playing against today. Alabama in the nation They're first in total defense, first against the run, and first in scoring defense, and second in pass defense. They give up an average of 6 points per game.
3rd down and 5. They got him. John Copeland and Eric Curry can share that one. I mean, that's like trying to run through a Joshua tree.
Well, they just pushed the entire offensive line back in his face. That time, Copeland just pushed Smith, the right guard, right on back.
Punting time. Tom Hutton, 43. Palmer. Look at those feet. 31-yard line. 43-yard punt, 4-yard return. 8.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. 17-3, Alabama leads.
She doesn't want to go back to work for a while. She likes staying home with the baby.
How old's the baby now?
She's 2 months old tomorrow. I swear she's a genius.
Yeah.
No catchy jingles.
Look.
No images of snow-capped mountains.
She got lucky, I guess.
No rock stars.
Another Heineken?
Yeah.
No sports stars.
You know, I've been getting about...
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
So you like being a daddy?
I wouldn't trade it for anything. You ought to try it.
You sound just like my in-laws.
When you publish thousands of newsletters a week, color is out of the question.
Invest in the fastest highlight color laser printer and come to a different conclusion. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Our sales figures were confusing. No one understood them.
With our digital color copier, you get the clarity of color with the stroke of a pen and touch of a screen. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together.
In 1993, you'll have over 500 new car models to choose from. And you can be pretty sure that most of them will cost more than they did last year. But this one won't. The Lumina Euro Sedan from Chevrolet. You'll find the features you're looking for, but you won't find a higher number on the sticker. This year's Lumina, last year's prices. Pretty ingenious, huh? What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
The Volunteer statue, dedicated 1967, located in the Circle Park about a block from the stadium. So from the 31 comes Alabama now, with Chris Anderson, the running back. He's got the ball. And he's got a first down. Picked up 11 yards on the carry. He runs a bit upright, more so than does Lassick, but he's very quick.
It's just straight blocking up front. Shields, 61, is a center. He gets his man. Wilson to the left of your screen is holding the middle linebacker with his left arm right there. That was pretty good blocking until I saw that hold.
Firm grip. 44, first down. Anderson goes the other way and gets just over the 45. Call it 2, 2nd down 8 coming up. That's at halftime now, Miami.
Last year, Keith, as you recall, Tennessee went to a 4-man line and 4 linebackers and took out a defensive back to try to stop the run of Alabama. And here's a look at the comparison of Alabama and Tennessee rushing today. Alabama has rushed 40 times for 226 yards and that average of 5.7. Tennessee has rushed only 15 times for 74 yards. Of course, there was one play for 42 yards in there by Tennessee that really kicks that average up.
Here comes Palmer. Keeps it. Faked it to Kevin Lee and kept it and turned it to midfield. And we go to John Saunders in New York.
Keith, Washington State had lost the lead at halftime, but then on the kickoff to start the second half, Deron Pointer picks it up on his own 3. From there, a couple of nifty moves, follows the blocking, and to the end zone. 97 yards, Washington State with the lead.
He has some famous cousins. the Pointer sisters. At midfield, 3rd down and 3. Parker can run for it. And he does, down to the Tennessee 45. He almost waited too long. But he got just enough. And so they'll move the chains one more time.
Well, the offensive line for Stallings in Alabama are just doing an outstanding job. He had all kinds of time to throw. Then when he decided to pull it down and run for the first down, he had the ability to get upfield and do it. This team, Tennessee, came in second in the league in the sacks, quarterback sacks.
One today. That's Anderson. Well, he got another first down. Moves the chains as Alabama's ground game, again, is running on all wheels.
Watch the offensive line. All 5 starters from last year return. 69, the right guard, is Stevenson. 77 out there, the right tackle is Patterson. The tight end, 83, is Buskey. And not until he gets 6 or 7 yards into the secondary does he run into a defender.
Might have picked off that backer Jester in there, too, and opened the daylight for it. This is Houston. Martin Houston, the fullback, and that's another. Alabama first down. It's a kind of running game that not only marches the chains down the field, but gobbles up the clock.
As I mentioned earlier, Tennessee lost 10 defensive starters from last year's team. I'm a little bit surprised that Tennessee doesn't go to a 5-man defensive line or to that 4-man, 4 linebacker, 3 defensive back look to stop the run, to stop the Alabama run at any cost and force them to throw the football.
Ball resting just at the 24-yard line now for the first down. And Lassick checks back into the lineup. Up man, Houston. Well, he did a lot of that on his back, most of that on his own. As the Tennessee man hit him, knocked him off balance, but he picked up 5 yards, falling down. And it's another first down.
And that's a little misdirection where he's going to fake the toss to the wide guy, and all of the linebackers are going to run out there. They're going to be blocked that way, and Houston takes the ball and comes back the other direction. It's almost right that the fullback, after doing so much blocking, gets to carry the ball a few times.
On first down from the 11, it's Terrence Lynch, number 45, a sophomore out of Town Creek, Alabama. That'll pick up a couple of yards on the play. Maybe not quite. Yeah, I'm at the 9-yard lines where they put it down. That Arizona bunch is making some noise out on the West Coast today, too. The Arizona Wildcats have lost by a point in Miami. Beat up UCLA. Now they're handling Stanford in the 3rd quarter. 41-6. Pitch it back to Lassick. I'll tell you what, when he gets turned back upfield, he lays a lick on you for a 190-pounder. He moved the stack a yard after he hit him. And the ball is resting right about the 5. There's its score. Maybe a 45-yard touchdown run. Now in the 3rd quarter, number 8 Stanford's got a problem with that Arizona defense, the way they've been playing. Arizona plays Washington November 7th. 3rd down and 4. Fullback, Houston, trying to cut it back the other way. Also at the same time trying to wrap both arms firmly around the ball. And you lose a little bit of your agility when you have to do that. It's 4th down and about 2, and the players want to go. And they're going to let him.
Well, I think they should, Keith, because even if you don't make it and turn the ball over, you've got the best defense in the country, a defense that hasn't allowed Tennessee to do anything today coming on the field.
Lassick is back in there as the deep back. Palmer's in the game. Pitch it to Lassick. Hit behind the line of scrimmage. Hit by number 9, Steve Seffin. So it's a great play by Session, and he stops the tide.
It's going to be a toss over here, and Session is over here on a corner blitz. Got to have a defensive man in the backfield. You've got to have a strong, have the flanker up there on the corner to block him. Have on the wing, penetration by the defense will do that every time.
This isn't your typical car commercial. There's no beautiful scenery, no winding roads. Hey, there's not even a car. But there is news. Geo is lowering prices on the Metro Coupe, sedan, and the XFI. So now the car that gets the highest gas mileage in America is also the car with the lowest price, which is pretty beautiful, even without pictures. Get to know Geo Metro at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
I'm gonna love you forever.
These days, more of us are planning long-term relationships with our cars. That's why millions are driving with Slick 50 engine formula. Slick 50 is guaranteed to help protect against wear, like no motor oil can, especially at startup when engine wear is at its worst. Treat your engine with Slick 50 so your long-term relationship can last even longer.
Forever and ever, amen.
He's outlined the problems facing our nation and has solutions to get us back on track. He's captivated America in the presidential debates. Now meet the man behind the movement. A visit with Ross Perot. Saturday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Hitachi. They make, Oh, great shot. Now, what was I saying?
Hitachi makes camcorders and 20,000 other products worth celebrating. Hitachi.
Well, Tennessee doesn't have rosy field position, but their spirits have been uplifted considerably. This is the second time that they've been able to turn away Alabama in the third quarter when the Tide was down knocking on the door. So it's first down Volunteers from the 5, right up the middle, and they get almost 5 on the carry by James Stewart. Let's find out something about Michigan from John Saunders.
Well, Keith, Michigan may be the best team in the country. Derek Alexander with some good footwork here, and then shows the quickness to get past any would-be tacklers. 70 yards. That made it 28-3. It's 31-3 in the third quarter. Keith.
Thank you. Second down and 5. Schuler handing away to Stewart again. I have a question. If Derek Alexander had been healthy last year at the University of Michigan, I wonder if Desmond Howard would have won the Heisman Trophy.
Well, he and Desmond Howard went to Michigan at the same time, both highly regarded wide receivers, and I would say that probably wouldn't have happened. He wouldn't have won the Heisman because it would have spread it around. You know how...
it would have been spread around.
It spread them around.
Alexander's a little bigger target, actually. Third down. And 3 for the Volunteers. They need something good to happen for them. They're in trouble. The pass, good. Caught by Faulkner. Schuler drilled him. Faulkner took the punishment and held on to the ball. First down for the Volunteers, up around the 28.
You're having trouble with your quarterback protection. Get him outside the pocket. The receiver here is going to go down and break to the inside. Plan was keep him on the move. He likes to roll out, get him away from the rush. Great hit there by the safety. And a first down. Not too many third down, first downs for Tennessee against Alabama here today.
That pass is almost intercepted. Chris Donnelly almost came away with that one because Schuler never got his shoulder squared away up the field.
He was outside the pocket again. Again, that's what they want to do. Take a look at Alabama defensively today. There's been no turnovers in the games. 1 sack. Third down conversions for Tennessee, only 2 of 8. And 3 plays and out on drives. They've had 8 drives, and 6 of the 8 times they've had the ball 3 plays and out.
Second and 10. Run it with Stewart. It'll be third down and 7. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll choose a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. And for the 22nd year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. Pretty hard for a right-handed quarterback running left to throw that ball upfield with defendable accuracy unless he can square himself up.
Exactly. You got to get deep and then come to the line of scrimmage, but Alabama's getting some penetration even on the rollout.
Joe Blitz goes down hard. The pass is away, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Corey Fleming, and Derek Oden just unloaded on him. He didn't drive him into the ground because that would have been a foul.
And he had a man wide open, too. He's going to blitz. The receiver here is going to come down and break to the inside. Take a look at how wide open he is. This is a chance that Tennessee has had the right play called on in several instances, and the timing has just not been right. Alabama too quick and fast. That disrupts your timing.
Hutton to punt. Gets this one off down the middle. Palmer looking to run this one. Dances a little bit back to about the 35. 8-yard return off a 41-yard punt. And 57 seconds to play in the third quarter. There was a major upset today in the SEC. South Carolina rebounding mightily to beat Mississippi State 21-6. Ole Miss and Arkansas and Kentucky LSU play tonight. Of course, it was Arkansas that had the big upset last week here in this stadium. Anderson, the one back for Alabama now. Number 35, drops the ball, picks it up, and is finally brought down at the 30. This entire stadium came up for a minute because they were scared to death he was going to take off and make something big happen.
Ball was handed to him a little bit high. He's going to turn around and run. There's going to be a great block here by one of the offensive linemen of Alabama coming back.
Patterson.
Right there to the right of your screen. And McCluskey, the smallest man on the field, again makes the tackle.
Derek Lassick again is the deep back. Has the ball on the screen. And runs it up across the 35 to near the 37. And time has expired in quarter number 3. So after 3, 17-3 Alabama. We'll be back for the final quarter after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Most people know State Farm sells car and homeowners insurance. Some people don't know State Farm sells life insurance too. I'm State Farm agent Cecil Burt. Our life insurance policies, our prices, and our financial ability to deliver on our promises, plus the good neighbor service State Farm agents are famous for, have made State Farm one of the largest of all life insurance companies and an outstanding life insurance value.
State Farm sells life insurance.
In the beginning, there was only one vehicle of its kind. Today, it's the only one to combine a lease this powerful with one this secure, this comfortable, and this affordable. The extraordinary Chevy S-Blazer lease plan. From the extraordinary vehicle that originated the species, Chevy Blazer.
Sunday.
I'm difficult.
Challenging.
I'm too structured. I'm completely closed off.
But in a good way.
Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, When Harry Met Sally, Sunday.
Who's number one at DFW? On Delta, you are. Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
See the March of Dimes Pepsi Corridors of Terror haunted house at 3 locations: Wet n Wild LBJ, Wet n Wild Arlington, and I-30 at Forest Park in Fort Worth, in the spirit of Texas.
Welcome. How did the incredible universe begin? With a big bang, followed by an incredible 160,000 square feet of space, which was filled with all the electronics, computers, appliances, and music in the world, all at incredible low prices. Incredible universe. It's not just a store, it's cosmically fun.
Register to win the world's largest van for its size, the 1993 Volkswagen Eurovan GL, the universe's newest concept in spacious travel.
If it's not in the universe, it doesn't exist.
Who's number one at DFW? On Delta, you are. Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
The controversy over the marketing of Malcolm X on Entertainment Tonight.
That commercial brought to you by Mom and Dad.
Well said.
38-yard line, 3rd down and 6. Anderson, nothing doing this time. There was good penetration by the middleman, James Wilson, number 72. And Big James got him. And so the Tide will have to kick it away. Davis waits. Not Davis. Got a reverse going. Got a wall set up. Look out. Punter. Sylvan. Nilo Sylvan. Wide receiver, freshman. Turns in a big play coming off the river. The ball was taken by number 83. A different man had gone back to field it.
Tennessee pulled a gimmick on the kickoff coming out of the second half. He just barely gets that ball. And before he's tackled, there'll be some good blocks along here. Right there, that's McCleskey, number 6, with a big block.
Now they try to get something going, try to cash it in. The pass is too long from Schuler into the end zone, intended for Craig Faulkner. So they were trying to strike quick, and it didn't work. And here's John Saunders.
Keith, Miami facing TCU. Gino Torretta here with a nice touch to Horace Copeland, who just outruns his man 46 yards. Miami up 24-3. Keith.
Pat Sullivan enduring some tough times as the new head coach at TCU. 2nd and 10. Schuler's pass down the middle of Bullock. Complete to Fleming. First down, Tennessee. Alabama 25-yard line. Just starting the 4th quarter. 17-3, Alabama leading.
Play action pass. Get the quarterback out of the pocket. You can't sit in there against Alabama. They've had plays open all day. They just haven't had the timing. This time the timing was there, and the completion now, they're on the 25-yard line after that big punt return gave some life to the fans.
Hayden is in at tailback or single back.
No way.
Nothing.
No way. You can't run on first down when they're expecting it. After 3 quarters, heavily in favor. Look at the bottom, the time of possession. Then we go back up at the top. Total plays 59-33, and only 152 yards total offense, and 4 first downs for Tennessee through the first 3 quarters. Spread them out, no backs.
Davis in at a wide out. Pass coming from the weak side. Pass completed to Fleming. Race to the corner, out of bounds, 3-yard line. Alabama man shaken up on the sideline. Chris Donnelly.
This is almost a naked screen. Curry, number 80, has a free shot because all of these players in the orange shirts are out here leaving the protection of the quarterback to get out here and block to set up the run by Fleming.
First and goal, Tennessee. Stewart and Brunson line up in the backfield. Schuler's pass. Touchdown. David Horn. So Tennessee gets field position off the reverse on the punt, and they cash it in.
Good call. All three backs go this way. The quarterback outside the pocket. Tight end over here is going to slip into the back of the end zone. It's a good call because first down is the best down to throw the ball on play action. Schuler rose. His mobility and arm strength gets the ball into the end zone.
Horn came down with just enough to make it count. The kick is good by Becksport. And with 12 minutes and 53 seconds to play, we still have a contest. 17-10, Alabama.
Chevrolet announces just about the last thing you'd expect from a car company. Lower prices. Believe it or not, this is for real. Chevrolet is lowering the price of every new 1993 Cavalier Coupe, sedan, wagon, and Z24 Coupe. No gimmicks or hassles, just straight talk and lower prices. Surprised? You shouldn't be. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
The Postal Service would like to present 2-day priority mail. That's delivery in just 2 days of up to 2 pounds for just $2.90. Remember, 2 days, 2 pounds, $2.90. 2-day priority mail from your Postal Service.
We deliver for you.
For pickup service, call 1-800-222-1811.
Excuse me, the printer on your desk there, it's an HP LaserJet. Why?
Never really thought about it.
Well, look, somebody obviously thought about it. Somebody with a firm commitment to excellence, right?
Probably. Everyone here has an HP LaserJet printer.
And the fact that you don't think about your HP LaserJet kind of proves just how dependable it is, doesn't it?
That's a leading question. Are you an attorney?
Are you?
Yes. This is a law firm.
There you have it from an attorney at a leading law firm. HP LaserJet printers. If it isn't a LaserJet, it's only a laser printer.
Ohio State meets Big Ten rival Michigan State. Penn State invades West Virginia or other key conference matchups. It's regional action next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Let's go back to the end of that last touchdown. Schuler outside the pocket, gets his momentum going toward the line of scrimmage, shoulder square, outstanding catch. Did you think he was out? Both feet in.
Of course, here's the kick. Not a whole lot on it. They didn't want Palmer to get his hands on the ball, but now Alabama can have its choice. They can take it up on the 35 if they want it, and they probably will. He didn't want to kick that ball down to Palmer. Instead, he went out of bounds. So they'll take it at the 35. And David Horn's third catch of the year is good for a touchdown.
So kick out of bounds to put the ball on the 35.
And with a lot of time left, it's only a 7-point difference now.
There's a look at the drive, and the reason they only had to go 42 yards is because of the punt return that set up that touchdown.
Vlasic in the first half had 115 yards. In the second half, he's had only 4. Anderson's been playing quite a bit. Barker's pass, good to Palmer. And gets it up to the 45 and appears to have a first down before McCluskey brings him down. Here's Jack.
Well, Keith, I'm with a man who has a lot of mixed emotions. His son, J.J. Sirles, plays for the Tennessee Volunteers. But Tom Sirles, you are an All-American linebacker for Bear Bryant at Alabama. Who do you pull for in this contest?
Well, it's really a heart twister. It's hard to pick a team. Of course, the son, I've got to root for him. But I've got Bear Bryant's ring on, and that's always going to be there.
Well, Keith, they bleed crimson a lot of times down here.
Barker nailed behind the line of scrimmage. The defensive play is made by the son of the man Jack was talking to, J.J. Sirles.
Talk about good timing right here. Sirles is number 48, plays off the block, Sirles has had some bad knees. In fact, they call him Iceman because he spends so much time with ice on his knees.
Arthritis. He has arthritis. Second down, 11. Barker's pass, too high, intended for Palmer. Well into the crowd. And so now the Tennessee Trucker, trailing by only 7, starts to unravel the Alabama offense a little bit.
This is a loud stadium, but Alabama has always done well up here. In fact, they've won 8 of the last 10 times they've come to Neyland Stadium.
Third 11. Blitz. Barker cannot get rid of it. James Wilson for Tennessee. And so the crowd of 97,388 sends the sound echoing through the foothills of the Smokies as Summers drifts around behind the 10-yard line to make the catch and comes back to about the 18. It's a 52-yard punt for Brian Deal.
Well, he has really been outstanding
Meantime,
today.
there's a penalty flag back up near midfield. So let's wait a minute and see what's going on.
Well, but Alabama doesn't want to kick it again. Deal has been outstanding.
I wouldn't think they'd want to kick it again. It's a 5-yard penalty. There's no first down involved. Even if it's a 10-yard penalty, certain kind, there would be no first down involved.
Holding by the receiving team. Post-premise kick foul. From the end of the kick, which was a 9, we'll go to 4.5, half the distance, first down.
So it's against the Volunteers, and it puts them back to the 4.5.
Here's the total yards for today. Alabama, 263 yards rushing, only 54 yards passing. And Tennessee is about the same rushing and passing. And that is a lot more than most teams are getting against Alabama this year. Usually Alabama gives up about 155 a game.
The previous spot, fourth down again.
Well, it apparently called it on Tennessee, and it should in fact have been called on Alabama. Now they will have to kick it again. So a little miscommunication. Foul was not on Tennessee, but it was on Alabama. So the players have a little, not the only ones having a little trouble down on the field communicating in all this noise. 11:13 to play in the game. Let's pause 5 seconds right here so our ABC stations can identify themselves.
This is Channel 8, WFAA-TV, Dallas-Fort Worth.
And Deal will kick it, and Summers will try to return it.
Summers, Keith, does have a punt return for a touchdown this year.
This time he's going to get the ball a lot different place. That was almost blocked. Almost blocked. Summers will get it back to near midfield. Brought down at the 48-yard line of Alabama, and J.J. McCluskey came within an eyelash of blocking that kick. Here's Jack.
Keith, we've been measuring the noise all afternoon, and this is the loudest it's been in the Volunteer Stadium all day. It's up over 110 dB. That's louder than rock music that's amplified like going to a rock concert. And they are rapidly approaching the figure of decibel level that makes rivaling jet aircraft. You can't hear yourself down here.
36-yard difference as a result of that holding.
The two punts.
Yeah. Schuler gets the heat. Pass is deflected. And Schuler is deflated and is laying down flat on the ground. Tennessee quarterback was caught, pinched, and just level.
Number 11, the bottom of your screen, a free shot. He saw the man coming from the front side, but he didn't see the man from the back. I think his lights went out, Keith.
He's got a pretty good wallop. Colquitt is the backup. Jerry talking there on the sidelines, and Schuler's going to have to come out. He's woozy, and Colquitt will go into the ball game. He's another baby with a pretty good arm on him, but Heath Schuler is woozy.
Tennessee doing what got him down there the last drive, and that is play-action pass on first down. They just didn't have enough to block everybody.
He's down at the 45, run down by Derek Oden. Yes, indeed. This is good defensive.
Well, it's just tough hitting ball game, too, as they knocked Schuler out of the ball game. As you see him right there, he probably doesn't know where he is right now. He may have a slight concussion. The fact is, it's a tough situation for a backup quarterback to come in, not warmed up, and try to move your ball club against a team that's the best in the nation defensively.
Colquitt is looking at third down and 13. Drops the ball, picks it up, takes off, sandwich. Michael Rogers was the principal hitter on the play. So Colquitt gets a taste of the Alabama action on the defensive side of the ball. And the Volunteers kicking team will come on. Schuler talking to the doctors and the trainer. Seems to be all right now.
We're told that he just got his bell rung, and they'll ask him some pertinent questions and find out if he knows where he is, knows what the plays are.
Ball comes back to the punter on the bounce. And Hutton just gets it out of there and gets a good kick out of it. All the way down to the Alabama 22, 32-yard punt, no return. Well, if that is getting your bell rung, the next time they pull the rope, if I were him, I'd want the ambulance coming too.
Critics say Pure Country is pure gold. I was knocked out. Not since Marty Robbins and Gene Autry has a real singing cowboy ridden onto the movie screen. George Strait, Pure Country. Rated PG. Sneak preview October 17th.
In a world of constant change, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential Rock Solid.
Autumn, a time when trees cast new colors. A time for sharing warmth. And at McDonald's, we're doing just that. Sharing the warmth of our new oven-baked apple pies. A cinnamon-dusted crust with golden delicious apple filling. And now when you buy one, your local McDonald's donates 25 cents to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, who bring warmth and hope to kids everywhere. Try our new baked apple pie. It's a delicious way to warm your heart.
In 1993, you'll have over 500 new car models to choose from, and you can be pretty sure that most of them will cost more than they did last year. But this one won't. The Lumina Euro Sedan from Chevrolet. You'll find the features you're looking for, but you won't find a higher number on the sticker. This year's Lumina, last year's prices. Pretty ingenious, huh? What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
Summary of the ball game. You see it's Alabama by 7. The game has not been that close, really. But Tennessee is sitting here with 9 minutes and 22 seconds and a chance to win this ball game. They've hung in gamely. From the 22, first down Alabama. Barker pitches to Lassick. He's been quiet in the second half, and they're going to run him down at about the line of scrimmage. And again, it's J.J. McCleskey who makes the play.
McCleskey is in double figures for tackles. That's his 11th tackle of the day, and he leads the Volunteers along with Talley in that category.
I don't see how in the world he missed blocking that putt a while ago. He came so close to it. Second down and still about 10. They say 9, but it's because they picked up a half a yard. Vlasic this time blows over the left side and barrels to the 42 and a first down.
Ball came out, but the whistle had blown. They're double teaming. They have double teamed the nose tackle all day long. And 41, Ingram is just slow, the middle linebacker, getting to the hole.
Vlasic shaken up. I think again the case of just not being sure where he is. Can't get his legs to work. Sometimes you know where you are, but you still can't get your legs to work when you've taken a lick like that, and he was hit. You see Derek's totals on the day. He'll have to leave the ball game for a little while. Ball is at the 42. It's a first down with Chris Anderson checking in now at the single back position. Little delay, hand the ball off to Houston. And Houston's going to have another Alabama first down as he takes the ball all the way down to the 45-yard line.
He's got to be hurt, too, Keith. McCluskey just lowered a boom, and he was being held on to by one of the Tennessee Volunteers, and McCluskey gets a free shot. McCluskey, 5'8", 170 pounds. Right there. That was Smith, number 3, that was fighting to hang on, and McCluskey.
I tell you what, JJ is running pretty high on the MVP list right now, the way he's been playing today. Flying all over the place. Clock stopped, 8:41 to go in the game.
Our instructions had an error, and 1,000 orders were due Friday.
With the speed of a Xerox digital color copier, you'll get this order on the road again. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together. We'd like color in our copies, but what small business can afford it?
With Xerox Highlight Color, concerns about the cost of color disappear with just a touch. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together like a...
I got an 88 Chevrolet Silverado with 304,000 miles. I drive it to work, 125 miles one way to work, 304,000 miles, still rolling.
This is the 1986 Chevrolet Scottsdale. The truck has now 577,000 miles on it. It always gives me my dollar when I needed my dollar.
Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Keep tires on it, keep gas in it, it'll go.
There is a sound that you can expect to hear on the new Riviera. It's the sound of German being spoken by those who now converge on Miami's legendary beach. Beck, the #1 imported German beer on Ocean Drive, in America, and the world.
Need a fresh start? Get the battery that's proven to start over 50,000 times. Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
The starting running backs for Alabama both been dinged up and are on the sidelines right now. There's Martin Houston, the latest. Derek Lasser preceded him. So it's Chris Anderson and Terrence Lynch in the backfield right now. And this is Lynch. And on first down, he picks up close to 5. Next Sunday, International Figure Skating Spectacular on ABC Sports. Olympic medalist Nancy Kerrigan, top American Todd Eldridge, and Kala Urbanski and Rocky Marble compete against some of the world's hot young stars. Sudafed Skate America International next Sunday, 4 Eastern, 3 Pacific on ABC Sports. Vlasic and Houston are back now for Alabama, and this is Vlasic carrying the ball. And they'll be looking at third down and the long 2. One big upset in the SEC today. That was South Carolina upending the Mississippi State Maroons.
And that gives Alabama a little breathing room. They have to go down to Starkville later on in the season. They'll have if they win this one, they'll have a 2-game edge as you look at Mal Moore wanting a timeout to talk about it.
They see him. He didn't have the right people for what they were calling, and so they spend the timeout.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him one bit.
I don't believe him.
Trust.
I don't know much about Clinton except promises.
He tells everybody what they want to hear.
Well, he wants to spend more money, and the only place he can get it is from the taxpayers.
The higher taxes.
Less food on the table.
Broken promises.
Less clothes on the kids' back.
I don't know how we can take any more taxes.
Less money to go to the doctor.
He's raised taxes in Arkansas. He'll raise taxes here.
Just less of everything.
Things haven't been that great with Steve and me for a while, so it's not a total surprise. Believe me, it's still a little scary being on your own now. You really need to start thinking about money. And I haven't begun to think about that. When I went through this, I sat down with a broker over at P. & Weber. He looked at what I had, and we came up with a plan that basically just let me get on with my life. And how did he know what you needed? Fortunately for me, he asked.
This man has 2 of the fastest feet in the world, but even they can't pump a brake as fast as the Chevy Cavalier's standard anti-lock brake system.
Oh, yeah?
Without ABS, no matter how fast your feet are, this can happen.
Whoa!
But to help you stop and steer on slippery surfaces, Cavalier's anti-lock brakes pump on and off up to 15 times a second.
Yeah, but can they do this?
The safety of ABS. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
Well, let's consider the circumstances now with 7:22 to play in the game. Alabama has 1 timeout remaining. It's 3rd down and 2. They lead by 17-10. They wanted to make sure they got the right people in the right place at the right time. They give the ball to Houston. And Martin Houston will have the first down, and he got it by about a foot. So that's a big play in this ball game right there.
That's the outside linebacker, and that is not the way to play outside linebacker. You do not run around the block. He ran around the block right there. A 45 Lynch. You got to take on that block so you don't open up a huge hole, especially on 3rd down.
So they take Lynch out now and put Lassick back in on 1st down at the Tennessee 35 and give Lassick the ball. And he'll pick up a yard. Tackle by J.J. Surlis out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania.
Tennessee defense, Keith. We talked about them a little bit earlier.
Wisconsin came back to beat the Boilers.
I see that. We mentioned that the Tennessee defense lost 10 starters. 6 of them were drafted. 4 of them were in the top 3 rounds of the NFL draft. They lost Chuck Smith to Chris Mims in the 1st round. Dale Carter was a 1st-round selection. So Johnny Majors lost a lot of talent on that defense, and you just don't plug some new guys in immediately and expect them to play.
This is Houston. Nothing doing. George Kidd and J.J. Surlis. You know, Surlis has been pretty quiet until we get down late in the ball game. And now it's crunch time, and now he shows up.
Is the offensive line. This time the orange shirts get in the creases, and there's no gaping holes there. Good defense that time. Larry Marmee, the defensive coordinator, doing a nice job.
You know who had his head in the middle of that? J.J. Third down and 10. Parker drops the ball. Alabama got it.
Well, if you counted the arms that were up, it would be Tennessee's ball.
That's right. A whole bunch.
Third down pass from the opposite side. Who is that? Wilson? 72 knocks the ball loose.
That play by Wilson takes them out of field goal range, and now they'll have to punt it. Big play. 17-10. High hanging kick. Fair catch is called by Tommy Johnson. He might have been better off to let it take a shot at the end zone. It might have gotten there.
Well, with that defense on my side, I think I'd catch it and make him go 85, 80 yards.
Yep. If he caught it out around the 8-yard line, the ball bouncing sideways, they might have had him a little deeper, but they'll take him at the 8.
Schuler's back in there.
First down from the 8. Kept it and goes down after about a yard pickup. Michael Rogers out of Laverne, Alabama, makes the tackle. So it'll be second down and 9. 50 Carmental postgame report with scores and highlights across the country as time permits following the ball game. And on second down and 9, Schuler brings him up with a single back, and Aaron Hayden throws it quickly. Faulkner short of the first down. Stopped a yard and a half short of the first down.
Watch the man out here. He's lined up over the receiver. He's going to blitz, and this is the man here that has to come all the way out to cover the receiver that's going to break out into the flat. This is disguised by Alabama. They send the corner that was over the slot. If this thing would have been timed out a little bit better, that could have been a big play.
Third, close to 2. Schuler for the first down. So Heath Schuler, the sophomore from Bison City, asserting himself here in the late going. 3:50 to play in the ball game, and it's a first down for Tennessee up at their own 29-yard line. Alabama controlled it really until the fourth quarter. Tennessee has made it very interesting. Bingo for number 98, James Gregory. It is Gregory, the nose tackle, getting that one.
You just don't have a lot of time to make up your mind what you want to do. So many of these defensive linemen for Alabama, Gregory and Curry and Copeland, and now you see Gregory going out because it's a passing situation. They send in 2 better pass rushers than he is. You don't have a lot of time to make up your mind if you're the quarterback.
Second down and 19-18 after the sack. And Schuler, short drop, starts to go, pressure coming. John Copeland, no chance. And that's 4 sacks. Washington State to a 30-17 lead over UCLA in the fourth quarter.
In a situation like this, Keith, where this ball game is, and you're quarterback and you're trying to move, you just cannot afford to take sacks. No negative yardage in this situation. The worst you want are incomplete passes. The last 2 should have been thrown away. If you have the presence of mind, you've got to think of that ahead of time. Schuler's just a sophomore. He's thinking of a lot of other things besides that.
Third and 23.
Roll him out to get him away from the pressure.
That's out of bounds.
Yep.
So it's an incomplete forward pass.
Yep.
In the meantime, the clock has run all the way down to 2:03.
Too much pressure in the pocket. You got to get your quarterback outside, and then the execution is not there.
And fourth down, 23. Tennessee spends one of its 3 timeouts to talk about it.
The bright, invigorating scent of Coast. Discover how it wakes you up and jumpstarts your day.
Up and at 'em.
Coast, the eye-opener.
You owe some Zadcor, right? Think I should sell it? I got out weeks ago, right after my broker's firm downgraded the stock. Now don't tell me that your broker's still hot on it. Who knows? I use a discount. A discounter? What do you think? Just because you know how to make money, you know how to invest it? Well, I just thought that, you know... I've got a terrific guy over at Payne Webber. Call him. Come on, how's some broker gonna know what's right for me? Go ask.
I'm Frank Gifford, and this Monday night will be at Three Rivers Stadium for the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers in a key AFC Central Division matchup. The Bengals, under new head coach David Shula, need a victory in this one. Meanwhile, the Steelers will be trying to stay close to Houston in the Central Division of the AFC. Monday Night Football from Pittsburgh, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Be with us.
It's the final debate. Why watch it here? Peter Jennings and ABC News, that's why. The final presidential debate, live Monday.
Tennessee has decided, apparently, to at least show punt. Whether they do it or not, we'll just have to wait and see. But
I think it's the right thing to do, Keith. You're back. It's 4th and 24. But you should have done it before you called the timeout.
Right.
Then you would have had 3 timeouts to stop the clock when you give it to him.
Hutton hits it. Good one. Palmer tracks it down back on the 38-yard line and then wiggles around for a while and comes back to about the 44. So it's a 46-yard punt and a 6-yard return. And as you see, Texas A&M continues undefeated. And Alabama has the football with 1 minute and 49 seconds to play in the ball game, leading 17-10. And number 52 of the Volunteers, who is Mark Holland, the snapper.
Tennessee has 2 timeouts left.
Look at that. Georgia Tech leading Florida State by 11.
The day of upsets.
Yep. Houston gang tackled after a 2-yard pickup. The Volunteers jump quickly into a 6-man front. And call a timeout. They got 1 left. And you got 1:43 to play in the ball game. Well, let's see if we can define things for you now. Next Saturday, here on ABC, Ohio State, Michigan State, the Big Ten country, Penn State, West Virginia, Baylor, Texas A&M in the Southwest. The ACC game is Georgia Tech, North Carolina. Right now, it begins to look like the Pac-10 game will be Washington State and Southern California. Maybe, depending on how things go, but that decision has not been made. There, you know, all of this talk about Stanford, which was trailing the Arizona team a goodly bit a while ago in the 3rd quarter. People have paid little attention to Arizona State because of all the problems they've had, and yet those Sun Devils have lost just 1 ball game.
How about Arizona?
Well, Arizona's still right there, too. But Arizona State is the one that nobody's ever said a word about, except in times of travail, and yet they're still there. This is Martin Houston. Oh, he lost the ball.
Tennessee has a drill. They work on it every day. The first man hits, the second man strips the ball.
Tennessee's got it. They got their chance. 1:33 to play in the ball game. And Tennessee is going to have the football around the 48.
That's the big fullback. First man hits. Now they're in there grabbing for it. Right there.
That is the first turnover of the ball game. Volunteers have only 1 timeout remaining. As they come quickly. Schuler back. Pressure. Runs right into Eric Curry.
Defense is what got Alabama this far, and defense is what's been the strength of their ball club today. I don't care for how much they've run for. Look at the bottom. Number 80 is Eric Curry. He's just hanging around this time. He's letting London 55 do the rushing. Schuler, a young quarterback, needs to be able to dump the ball when nothing is there, Keith. Cannot take the sacks.
And Tennessee has just spent its last timeout. The ball moved from the 48 back inside the 44, and they no longer have a timeout with which to work. 1:15 to play in this game.
Gene Stallings worked with Tom Landry for 14 years at the Dallas Cowboys. He also worked with Bear Bryant. In fact, he was a player for Bear Bryant at Texas A&M, and says he learned organization from Landry, and he learned motivation and preparation from the Bear.
So here's Schuler now. He's got his instructions for the last minute and 15.
See, Florida State, number 6, is losing. Stanford at number 8 is losing, and Penn State, number 9, has lost.
Tennessee needs to be in a position here, I would think, to try to run a no-huddle if they can.
And they've got that ability. The thing they've got to go back to getting him outside the pocket. Play actions and outside the pocket is what they've been doing. There's no threat of play action here, especially with no backs in the backfield. Spread them out.
Pass down the middle, deflected, intercepted. Chris Donnelly makes the interception. And that'll do it.
Donnelly is a transfer from Vanderbilt. He was the 1989 SEC Freshman of the Year. Was Donnelly. Decided that he wanted to change the scenery. Little rollout. Good defensive play by the front man. And Donnelly is there for the interception. Trying to get the ball to Davis. A speed receiver coming across the field. Maybe just waits a little bit long. There was a hole there between the linebackers. He waited a tad long. Donnelly with his 3rd interception of the year.
Tennessee cannot stop the clock now. They have no timeouts remaining. I'm not sure who that was that deflected it. It might have been Michael Rogers. Dropping linebacker who knocked it up in the air for the killer for the Tide. Alabama came in here having won 6 in a row. And as you see, they've won the last 3 times here. And listening around town since we've been here, they're on Johnny's case pretty good. I had a talk show this morning that was brutal.
Well, Phil Fulmer filled in for Majors while he had his bypass surgery. 26 days after he had the surgery, he was back, but Fulmer had won 3 games, including one at Georgia and one against Florida.
Well, the Alabama kids are enjoying it, and they've earned it.
You know, coming in, Keith, I didn't know much about this Alabama team. They're ranked one of the top 5 or 6 in the country. But you take a look at Schuler, he'll get better. But the defense for Alabama and their offensive line and their running game has been outstanding.
So the seconds will tick away. And here are your most valuable players. Derek Lassick for Alabama, 33 carries, 142 yards, and 2 touchdowns. J.J. McCluskey, 12 tackles, 5'8", 12 tackles for Tennessee. And Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for academic achievements and to help those who need financial help. Game's over. Alabama 17, Tennessee 10. Alabama is now 7-0. We'll have some interviews from Neyland Stadium during the post-game show, but For the moment, the folks from Tuscaloosa are the happiest as they win by 7.
This week on ABC's NFL.